There are many that are upset that Joe Biden didn't even mention the Black community in his State of the Union speech. But, that's a deliberate act. See, you're good enough to pull the lever and vote for them, but as far as them doing anything for you that's significant or things that would really highly impact the community, you're not going to do that. He's doing what presidents have done in this country historically. They'll beg for you to vote, tell you everything they think you want to hear, and then for the next 4 years you get ignored. And if you do get something, it's going to be something of non-value, a Juneteenth holiday. It is going to be things of that nature. But for everybody else, like the Asian crime bill, and they received millions of dollars, and now you see the Ukrainians getting billions and billions of dollars from Joe Biden. He just can't seem to give them enough money. But if you go around him and say reparations, all of a sudden nobody got enough money to do this and do that. But that's just amazing. You know, Money for the Ukrainians. And we didn't need any committees. We didn't need a bill. We didn't need any studies. None of the usual stall tactics that you give to, people in our community, just stall tactics. So I'm going to go ahead and let you listen to this audio from NPR.
Racial discrimination was one of four historic crises that Joe Biden pledged to take on even before he was elected president. But after his State of the Union address this week, some social justice advocates worry about that promise. NPR's Wanda Summers reports. In President Biden's first address to a joint session of Congress last year, he pledged to root out systemic racism and to advance efforts to create a more equitable country. We've all seen the need and injustice on the neck of Black Americans. But this year, those issues were not the focus. From a president who said that he would make race equity a linchpin of his administration, he didn't mention it. That's Cliff Albright. He is a co-founder of the group Black Voters Matter, speaking on a virtual panel of progressives responding to the president's speech. I don't think he said race or even the word black once, even when he was talking about the first Black woman potential Supreme Court justice who he nominated. If you look at the transcript of speech, he doesn't use the word anywhere in the speech. Progressive activists say that the forceful language that Biden used on race as a candidate and in his first year in office have been replaced by silence. You can't say that it's time for America to come together on race by ignoring race. That's Rashad Robinson, the president of Color of Change. Racial justice is not charity. It's not the thing that a president should do to be nice to Black and brown folks. Racial justice is strategy. And the quicker the White House and other folks recognize the strategic power of engaging on racial justice to motivate, engage, and deliver for the communities most impacted, the better off they will be and the better off the country will be. One issue that received only a passing mention from Biden was voting rights. A year-long public push for federal legislation died in January. Biden also didn't renew calls for police reform legislation. Bipartisan talks on that collapsed last year. He did, however, use the moment to repeat his call for more funding for police departments, responding to a nationwide rise in gun violence. We should all agree the answer is not to defund the police, it's to fund the police. Fund them. Biden was confronting a persistent Republican attack line, even though most Democrats do not support defunding the police. And it sparked a bipartisan standing ovation. Amara Enya is the policy and research coordinator for the Movement for Black Lives. She was not applauding. Calling for funding the police is simply a political play to appease, again, Republicans and to appease those who are afraid that their political futures may be on the line. But for people in communities that have been divested for generations, that's not the solution. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki told reporters that the president was simply restating his position on police funding, that he remains a supporter of police reform efforts, and he could sign an executive order on the issue. Democratic strategist Joel Payne said that the president was charting a middle of the road course in an election year, and funding the police was a prime example. It felt like that was a very purposeful thing that needed to be said out loud so that not only the president, but the president's allies could use that as political chum. But he also said the White House omitted some big issues that could have excited Black voters who turned out in 2020 and who Democrats need to turn out again this year. Juana Summers, NPR News.
So you see, it was done on purpose. And see, cheerleading for the police, of course, the right loves it. And many people in the left do too, especially politicians. So, George Floyd, that bill is DOA. That's not going to come up again. As you can see, they want us to be sitting ducks. And at any given time, a cop can just come up and kill you unarmed. And more than likely in this country, we'll get away with it. And they're fine with that. They didn't have anything in there talking about protections or giving you a bill to protect the Black community because they don't want us protected. They want us open and out here for anybody to do whatever they want. They're not fooling no damn body. But as for any other community, they will make sure they get a crime bill and pass it and use us as the reason for why they need to do it. Black people attacking Asians. But if that were the case, how come y'all stopped talking about it? Shouldn't it still be going on now? No, you use that story in order to get justification for passing the bill. So we were pretty much your scapegoat to justify it. So if our people had sense, you should know not to vote Joe Biden in for a second term. But unfortunately, y'all, no matter how much we put that message out there, you got diehards in the community. And oh, I know he didn't say it, but I'm voting Democrat anyway. That's who you got out here. That's who you got out here. And they're convinced that they must put their vote in. They have to at all costs, even if this man is doing absolutely nothing for them. But I do see some people waking up and saying, what's the point if they're not going to do nothing for us? Why should I waste my time going out there? Yeah, I do think there's a growing number of our people coming to that conclusion. But time will tell when the next election cycle come around. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.